Hi, welcome to another episode of the ASMRctica podcast, recorded exclusively for the podcast episodes, audio platforms. Today I would like to talk about an old closed railway in Sweden that was located on the island called Öland. Öland is an island just outside the coast of mainland Sweden in the south, in the Baltic Sea, very close to the mainland and the landscape Småland. And it's connected to the mainland with a very long bridge, the Öland Bridge, Ölandsbron. Ölandsbron is a road bridge connecting Kalmar on mainland Sweden to Färjestaden on the island of Öland. At 6,072 meters or 19,921 feet long. It is one of the longest in all of Europe, and it was the longest one until the completion of Vasco da Gama Bridge in 1998. And the Öland Bridge was built in 1972. So between 1972 and 1991 it was the longest bridge in Europe. That's quite cool. But when you have reached Öland, there are no railways at all on this island today. But actually it used to be. And this weekend I actually was visiting Öland almost for the first time. I was there, I think, when I was a kid, but I don't remember much of that. I remember Ölandsbron, but not so much. And I didn't know there had been railways on Öland before. But as I was traveling on the island, exploring places, both to the north and to the south of the island, I suddenly recognized like an old railway station house. It was a house with a sign on it where it said Föra, I think, F-Ö-R-A, and it reminded me of a railway station house. And I started to think, wow, maybe there has been railways on Öland in the past. So I started to look for some information about it, and yeah, there had been railways. So let's take a look at the different railways on Öland in the past. I'll do a search on Google for Ölands järnväg. That's Swedish for railway. Ölands järnvägar. It was a company created in 1928 when the two separate railways, Borgholm-Böda Railway and Southern Ölands järnväg, were merged together into one company. Okay, so when did the Borgholm-Böda järnväg open? Here it says it opened in 1906. And from 1928 it was part of Ölands järnvägar. And Södra Ölands järnväg, Southern Öland Railway, was opened in 1909 and was completed in 1910. So the northern part, the Borgholm-Böda, was a bit older, a couple of years older. And all railways on Öland was closed definitely in 1961. So it had a total length of 151 kilometers. It was only one track, and the width of the track was 891 millimeters. And that distance between the tracks is called a small spur, a narrow track or something like that. So it's not like the standard track. The standard railway width is a bit wider. Maybe I can compare. Yeah, the most common width between the tracks is 1435 millimeters. That's a normal width. So this is the small width or narrow width, 891. And that was the case for the railways on Öland. So between 1910 and 1961, so for 50 years, you could go by train on Öland. But of course there were no train on the bridge because the bridge was opened in the 1970s. And then the railways were already gone from the island. But I started to be curious about where the stations on Öland had been located in the past, and if you can find traces of both the tracks and some station buildings perhaps. Maybe some platforms as well, I'm not sure. So I have downloaded some maps from the 1940s, quite detailed maps that you can download for free over the entire Sweden in small parts. And I downloaded some maps showing the railway system on Öland in the past. So we start with the oldest part, the Borgholm-Böda Railway from 1906. That part started in, it went from Borgholm to Böda, of course, and we can start in Borgholm. It's like I'm not sure if it's the biggest town on Öland, but it's, I think historically it's the most important one. It's one of the three main towns on Öland. It is its own municipality. Borgholm, it has a very famous castle, Borgholm Castle, for example. history. So from Borgholm we can take a look on the detailed map from 1942, where of course the railway tracks are still visible because they had still 20 more years before they were removed, closed. And I will look at this old map and compare it to Google Maps. Or maybe, no, I will actually use OpenStreetMap. Because sometimes I think that one is more detailed. And I'll search for Borgholm. So Borgholm was much smaller in the 1940s, of course. It was only a small part of today's Borgholm. And where the station was located in the north, where we now have a big parking for cars. And also we have the bus station. The modern bus station is located at the exact same spot as the old railway station. So it's located by Sandgatan, the main road at the north of Borgholm. So from there the railway went to the east and it looks like the next station could be Tingsdal, perhaps. Tingsdal. Let me check on the next map. It's called Köping. So east of Borgholm we have a village or a place called Köping. I see now on the map, on the modern map, that it's now, today it's called Köpingsvik. So they have added the Swedish word for bay after the original name, just Köping. Maybe there was a confusion between another village called Köping, I'm not sure. So in Köpingsvik, the station was actually called Tingsdal. It was not called Köping. I don't know why. Maybe Tingsdal was an old name for this place. Maybe in 1906 Köping was called Tingsdal. It's just a guess. And Tingsdal station was located, let's see if I can find it, if I compare the old 1940s map with the modern map here. It looks like it should be located in the cross between Ramsätravägen and Mårtensgata. So it's not at all in the in the center of Köpingsvik. It's on the almost outside the village, the outskirts. And then the railroad continued through the countryside until it reached Ökroken station. Ökroken. And today this place is called Ö or Ökroken. I can find both those names on the modern map. But it's really in the middle of the countryside. There's nothing, there are no names of the roads here or anything. It's just very close to the cross between road H977 and H978, where these two roads meet. That's where Ökroken station was located. And not far from Ökroken, to the north, we have the next stop, Kallegutta stop. Kallegutta. And on the modern map, actually it says Kallegutta Hållplats. Hållplats means railway stop or bus stop. So the place is still called. You can still find a trace of the time when there was a railway here on the name of this place. And it's approximately where the roads H977 and H979 meet. And we continue to the north through the fields here, the farming fields, the farming houses, and we continue on the next map. We have Dalbyro stop, Hållplats. A Hållplats is not exactly a station. It's a bit smaller than a station. So I would just call it a stop for the train. Dalbyro stop is located close to Dalby Mansion or Dalby Farmhouse. But it's a bit to the north of the main Dalby farm, closer to a farmhouse called Unnestad. By road H977. I can see now that road H977 that you drive on today when you go in this area was actually not built in 1942, because it's built on the exact same, along the same, it follows the old railway actually. So in 1942 it was a railway embankment, and today it's a road for cars instead. And the next station is Alböke station. and it was located close to Haglunda farmhouse, or Haglunda village, by road H981. So, approximately where H977 and H981 roads meet, but a bit to the north actually, because road H977, it stops there where it meets H981, but the railway continued straight ahead. But that part of the railway is not a road today. So here maybe you can find an old railway embankment or something. If you go here, look for it. So a couple of meters north of this road cross, we had the station there. I can't see there's a house there today, so I don't think if there was a railway station building there, it's probably not there today. Then we will continue to the next map. Let's see here. What happens here? On this map I just see the railway passes a lot of farming fields until it reaches Stora Stacketorp. And then the next map. Yeah, here we have the next station, Stacketorp. Stop. It's not a station, it's just a stop. And it was located where the railway crossed the road H982. I don't know exactly what's there today. Since there is no railway, you can't find the crossing anymore, but it's in the middle of Stora Stacketorp by the road. And we continue follow the railroad to the north, slightly to the northeast. And we will come to Askelunda. But I don't see any station there. It should be. It's quite far from Stacketorp. Next station should be Uggletorp. So we have to continue for a while. To the next map. And here we have Uggletorp station. And now we're back on the main road, where we haven't followed the main road yet between Borgholm and northern Öland, but now we come there to Uggletorp. So from all these farming fields, the railway came from the southeast and caught up with the Uggletorp, with the main road called 1 136 today. Road number 136. And Löttorp, we have a bus stop today at Löttorp, so I guess the station was located somewhere close to that. And continue to the next stop, Föra. And Föra is actually the station building that I saw when I was traveling here a couple of days ago. So I was traveling along the 136 road to the north of Öland. And I'm a bit confused here. I think the roads have changed quite a lot. So the modern road 136 does not have the same location, same route as the old main road. The old main road was a bit more to the east. Yeah, here in Öland you can still see the remains of the old main road that passes Ölandsro. It's a small hotel, I think. So in Öland there were no station. Yeah, now I see what has happened. The old main road was what's today the local road east of the main road 136, and the modern 136 follows the old railway actually. So when the railway was closed, they eventually built a new main part of the main road there. So here we have Föra vägskäl. And Föra stop should be located close to Marsjö, actually. The village Marsjö. So it must be here. I found the Föra station house probably. Close to the road that leads to Marsjö along the main road 136. The thing is that it's quite difficult to navigate here comparing the old map and the modern map, because there are two lakes visible here on the old map. Marsjön just to the west of Föra railway stop, and Pommergölen a bit more far to the west, but none of those lakes are actually here today, so they have disappeared. It's only forested areas here, open fields, I guess. I don't know what happened to those lakes. Okay, there we have Marsjö, Hjälmstad. Okay, so Föra stop is not located at Marsjö, as I just told you. It's a bit more to the south, it's exactly where the road 136 connects with the old main road, today a local road. And I can't see there are any houses left here at all. I need to compare on Google Maps so I can see what has happened here. I'll type in Föra in Borgholm. Föra. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. There are no Marsjö anymore, no lake there. Väsbylundsvägen is the local road that used to be the main road. And yeah, there are some houses there still. But this area looks very different today than it did in the 1940s. The thing is that I saw the Föra station house. It should be here somewhere. Yeah, I can see some houses between Väsbylundsvägen and road 136. So it's probably one of those, the old station. Okay, let's move on. To the north. What do we have? After Föra, we should reach Persnäs. Yeah, here we have Persnäs station, close to Södvik. And here we have the same history with the roads and the railroad. The modern 136 follows the old railway. In 1942 there was no road there, only the railway. And the old main road is now a local road called Gamla vägen. The old road, that means. So that makes sense. And then we have the village Södvik with Södvik Bygata connecting Gamla vägen and main road 136. And along main road 136 we have something called Gamla stationen Handelsträdgård, old station garden center. Of course that must be the old station building Persnäs. And we continue to the northeast. Let's see what's the next stop. We have a stop called Gunnarslund. And now the railway, the old railway, went quite far from main road 136. And there are no road here today, it's only fields, farming fields, some forest. Gunnarstorpsvägen, Gunnarslunds ägg. They produce eggs here, close to where the old station was located, along the Gunnarstorpsvägen. Yeah. Gunnarslund, Gunnarstorp. It's a small village. And next stop is Källarberg station. See if I can find it on Google Maps. I switched to Google Maps now because the OpenStreetMap wasn't that detailed as I thought. I think that one is more detailed, close to big cities, but in the countryside, there wasn't so much information there. I couldn't even see the buildings or anything. So we should have a place called Hagelstad, close to Källarbergs station. And now I'm a bit lost. Okay, it's far to the north here. Now, the thing is that now here, we're not following the main road at all. The railroad was completely separate from where the main roads were and where the main roads are today. So we have to travel through fields and through forest again to reach Hagelstad and a small place east of Hagelstad. Yeah, I see. Actually, I can see on Google Maps the satellite image. You can see that there's a line with trees dividing fields from other fields, where the railroad was. And after Källarbrink, it's a road also. But south of Källarbrink, there's no road there. It's just you can see it on the map. A line of trees, for example. But here we have something called Ninnis Kroppkaksbod. A small restaurant where you can buy kroppkakor, the very traditional type of food from this area, I guess. Here we should have the station somewhere. Some of these houses, one of these houses would be probably an old station building. But it's definitely in the middle of nowhere. The village isn't called anything. It's east of Hagelstad's village and west of Källa village. It's just a couple of houses, a group of houses there. And then we follow some small roads here through the landscape. To our next stop. That's one of the bigger places here. Small town, maybe you can call it. So Löttorp. Station. It's where Löttorp, the center of Löttorp, is located today. You can see the food store, supermarket, and some restaurants here along Löttorpsvägen. And actually there is something called a road called Stationsvägen here, the station road. So one of these houses should be Löttorp old station building. There's a bus stop there called Löttorp Centrum, yeah. So the center of this village, this town, is still located where the station was located. And we continue to the north. Let's see where's the next stop. Here we have Vedborm. And I'll check on Google Maps. Again, the railroad goes through the landscape, not following any road. But then, when the old railroad meets a road called Vedborm-Gatan, we should have the station, old station Vedborm. And also we have a road here called Stationsgatan. Stationsgatan meets Vedbormgatan still today, and close to this road cross we have the old station. One of the buildings, perhaps, if it's still here, the building. And from Vedborm we continue to the north. And yeah, here the railroad goes through the forest, in the middle of the forest. There are some forested parts in Öland too, even if most of the landscape are fields. In this part there is a quite big forest. And the Tuja-skogen, Tuja forest. And you can see a trace, I think, yeah, on Google Maps. It's just very good to look at the satellite view on Google Maps, because here you can see a line in the forest. The trees are growing in a way that you can see it creates a line, straight line, and that's where the railroad was. You can see that if I compare the two maps. And then when it turns slightly to the east, it will cross Byrumsvägen, and there we should have Skefterkärr station. Here somewhere. Skefterkärr. It's a cafe and hotel today, Skefterkärr. There are some buildings here along Kullenvägen and Byrumsvägen. Byrumsvägen. Byrumsvägen seems to be a newer road that wasn't here in 1942. So I think the station was in the middle of the forest. I can see a building on Google Maps. North of Byrumsvägen, west of the crossing Kullenvägen, Byrumsvägen. There's like a triangle. And the building there in the middle should be the station. I think so. It's exactly the same spot as in the map from 1942. It's really in the middle of nowhere. Just a couple of buildings around it. And then we continue the railroad to the northeast until we reach our final stop, Böda. And then we meet main road 136 again. So we have been traveling through fields and through the forest from Löttorp, or even before Löttorp. It was a long time ago we followed 136, but here we finally meet 136 again. And we have Böda station. There's a road here today called Böda Stationsväg, Böda Station Road. And this is actually a place I was visiting this weekend, because you could see it from a sign from Road 136 when you travel to the very northern point of Öland. You can see it says Böda Station, so I was curious to see what that was. So the station building is still there, and I record 1 minute video there just to show you, or my Instagram followers, show them the station. So this was the last stop of Borgholm-Böda Railway. But there's another smaller railway starting at Böda station, and it goes to the north through the forest. But it's not for what do you say, passengers, not for transporting people, it's for transporting, it's an industrial railroad, it was. And the thing is that part of these industrial tracks are today reconstructed, because in 1974 they reconstructed part of these tracks, because they were also removed in, I think, 1961 or around that time. But there was some enthusiasts that wanted to have a museum, some kind of museum railroad on Öland, reminding of old days, so they rebuilt a couple of kilometers in the northeast of Öland. So I guess there are some trains going there, probably in the summer. So that was the northern part of Öland's railway. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Hope you enjoy.